Hello, another day, another show. Um, so I am going to start this show slightly differently. Based on my last few shows, especially the one I spoke about politicians and stuff like that, uh, a lot of my friends responded, and most of the responses were quite good, very good in fact. But I got a very interesting response from a very dear friend of mine. Now, he's a retired former CEO of a company, big man, very, very respected, based in Rajasthan, lives most part of his life in London, seen the world, uh, very well, very well informed, wise kind of a person. So he saw my last episode and he sent me a message. I'm going to read the message first. Yeah. It says, "Hi Tarun, I find the growing difference around the globe in most countries that general population has towards politicians and governance in general. What is your opinion in the cause and where do you think this mistrust will lead to? Many people think the choice is between the devil and the deep sea. Many are indifferent." Uh, I responded to him, but I also thought it's a great subject to talk about. You know, uh, in the corporate world, we have a multiplier. It is practiced pretty much in most large multinational companies, which is what is the salary of the junior most person in the organization. The CEO of the company gets a multiplier of that, which is sometimes 20, sometimes 22, sometimes 18. They would have equity, but that is not part of the salary. That comes in as their effort towards the organization. But the salary per se is a multiplier. Most CEOs who were my friends, are my friends who retired now, are leading a very good life. They, with the salaries they earn, clean, they've got their savings, they get their interest, whatever it is called, and they lead a very good life, very decent life, very respectful, extremely clean. Why am I saying this? Because people like us who come from the corporate world, corruption is a concept. It's very difficult for us to understand. We don't get it, okay? Because it's not part of our wiring. We don't think like that. For us, what we get as our monthly income or salary is what we live with. And I cannot imagine how can anyone figure out how to live outside that. Yeah, there are like anything in this world, there are rotten fish. There are rotten fish everywhere. But in politics, it's completely opposite. It's the way of life. Now let me try and explain this to you. If you look at a politician, he has no fixed source of income. He lives off God knows what. Correct. Most of them are involved in all kinds of activities. Now, this starts at a very grassroots level. If you live in a village, or if you live in a small area, you'll understand how important a politician is, because every little contract that that politician gets is distributed amongst his people. This could be a small contract like building a small dam. It could be laying a small road. It could be laying power lines. These are all government contracts which come under a certain budget, and then they allocate it to various people in that area. If they give it to an MLA, then MLA gives it to his people. Now, who are his people? His people are people who basically helped him win that election. Uh, so the money is earned that way, which means every time they do a job, there's a cut involved in it. That cut goes to all these people, and yeah, and the life goes on. It's normal life. This is their induction into the world of politics. This is how they get introduced to the world of politics. Then that same kid will become a panchayat member. Then he'll become a sadasya. All kinds of things he becomes, and finally becomes an MLA. Sometimes he becomes a member of parliament. Uh, but that wiring does not change. The wiring that every piece of work that the government executes, I need a part of that, is part of their DNA. and it is quite suffocating. If you actually see the kind of wealth these guys create, is unbelievable. And the best way to judge, in my view, the kind of wealth they have is by attending their weddings. Okay, uh, you go to a normal local MLA's child's wedding. It is obscene. It is absolutely obscene. You just can't figure out where have they got the wealth from. How does the wealth come to them? How do they spend so much? Uh, Look at the kind of cars they own. Look at the kind of homes they build. In Maharashtra, there's a joke. There's something called Gunta Pajero, because in Maharashtra, all big politicians, the moment they become MLAs and stuff like that and make some money, all of them have Pajeros. Pajeros is the in car there. But that's for the guy who's made it big in life. What happens to the guy who's not made it big in life? He also wants to be a big politician. So what does he do? He sells a piece of his land. In Maharashtra, it is called Gunta. And that Gunta, he buys a Scorpio, white color Scorpio with tinted glasses. So in Maharashtra, it's called a Gunta Pajero. Every second, third person in Maharashtra will own a Gunta Pajero. Same story in Telangana. Because of the state getting divided, lots of land up for sale, lots of brokering happened. Every small politician now has 4 or 5 big cars, lives in palatial houses. And you start asking yourself, do we deserve this? Why are these guys like this? Why have they got this kind of money? And is there no accountability? There's no fear. There's no sense of shame that people know you. You've grown in that community. 20, 25 years back, you were not what you are today. Those 40 MLAs in Maharashtra, they've got tons of money. They don't know what to do with it. I recently saw a guy in the assembly coming in a 4 crore Mercedes SUV. And I'm saying, wow. Meaning, this is like people keep saying, it's the business of the crooks. It is a business of the crooks. And they're everywhere. It's not about Maharashtra. Maharashtra, because I have a lot of first-hand knowledge, I talk about it. But this is everywhere. You go to Tamil Nadu, you go to anywhere, you come to Telangana, look at these politicians here. Unreal. And this becomes even more septic when it is a family-run party. A family has disproportionate wealth. I mean, you don't know how this, at least the 2 or 3 national parties, there are some checks and balances. Somebody's going to ask you some questions. In regional parties, there are no questions. There is just one large family. If you're on the side of the family, you are part of the gold rush. If you're not part of the family, you're not part of the gold rush. It is sad. And I think a lot of us must sit, contemplate, and ask ourselves this question. Is the political system or the political leadership or the political establishment in this country is what we deserve? I don't think so we deserve it. My view is very clear. I think a lot of them are wanting on many fronts. I'm not going to sit here and take names, but it is quite pathetic, the kind of wealth they've created for themselves, the kind of homes they build for themselves, the kind of lifestyle they lead. Very mediocrely qualified people whose only claim to fame is because they have access to some political leadership. And one of the lines that I keep hearing all the time in my political circles of friends, you're not a politician type. What is a politician type? I don't know what a politician type is. I know what a corporate type is. I know what a clean type is. I don't know what a politician type is. And I think till the time India cracks this politician type of politicians, we will be constantly having less investments in better projects or huge investments in huge projects with substandard quality of work going on, like the bridge that fell in Bihar. I mean, how can a bridge fall? What is going on? Is anyone accountable? Is taxpayers' money? But that is corruption. That is corruption at a level you can't even imagine. A whole bridge fell in the middle of the river, a brand new bridge. And these happen all the time. And we are okay with it because that's the way it is. I think good people don't want to be part of the political system. because they can't deal with this nonsense. And the guys who are okay with it, who have thick skin, who are fine with wearing these really thick gold chains, driving in these obnoxious looking cars. There's a guy, I won't take his name. He's first generation rich. He's an MLA. He drives an expensive Range Rover. His security guys also drive a Range Rover. So that is 12, 14 crores of cars driving around with a bunch of people who, I don't know, they deserve it. But that's the way it is. That is the way it is. I think to answer this question, globally this is the problem. I think India the problem is more. There are some leaders who I think, I may be completely wrong, but at least they look clean. Guys like Naveen Patnaik. I think Mamata Banerjee also looks quite clean. She must be having corruption around her, but she doesn't look the type she's corrupt. I may be wrong. But look at that. Aam Aadmi Party. They came to power at the back of Wagoner and Muffler. And now look at them. I was seeing visuals of them driving around in Delhi. Oh God, they have become rich. And they become very rich. I think a couple of them are in the jail. I think, I don't know what is going on, but these things catch up. You can hide, you can behave. Your weddings, opulent weddings. How can you do stuff like this? I just don't understand. Where does this money come from? How is this money managed? Where does this money go? Who's asking questions? It is very, very bad. In Maharashtra, we've had chickies scam. When you get chickies to school kids, you make money on that. How low can you get? Things like this everywhere. Telangana is full of scams. Andhra is full of scams. You go sit anywhere and talk to anyone and they'll give you a list of scams going on. Irrigation scam, this scam, road scam, metro scam. Metro is a big scam. Every time a new metro comes up, a lot of people are getting greased. So these are, and they can't be smoke without fire. When people are talking about it, which means it is happening. It is happening all around. People, these small families who run these states, flying in private jets, driving these huge cars, living in these opulent bungalows. 45 crores was spent to renovate a house in Delhi. 45 crores? Why do you spend 45 crores? What is 45 crores? 45 crores is a lot of money. But that is the way it is. No one to ask, no one to tell. It is very sad. And I think India needs to wake up. India needs to ask these questions. India needs to ask these questions not to the politicians because they won't change. They are a given lot. They are thick-skinned. They don't care. We are not the political type to ask them those questions. But we need to ask ourselves those questions. Either the people who we deserve. And if we don't deserve them, I think we should look for people who we deserve. There are enough and more people who are interested. We should go out and look for them and talk to them and convince them to get into public life. Otherwise, this loot will go on and on and on. They look like film stars. They are manicured. They are pedicured. It is like a fashion parade. You look at the parliament. It looks like a boutique. Guys are completely manicured and pedicured. Why? I have seen parliament for 40 years now. We've seen guys like George Fernandez. They were so cool because they were intellectually so high. I think some of the communist leaders still look like that. I don't know how they are at the back. Sitaram Yechuri or a D. Raja. They look like decent blokes. But the rest look terrible. They look manicured and pedicured. This has to stop. This level of corruption, this level of downfall in public discourse of our leaders needs to stop. And I think, like my friend asked me the question, the cause of this problem is the system is geared towards greasing and corruption, and I think that needs to stop. I don't think so we can stop it, but I'm just saying the guys who run our life need to be a little more reasonable. Make stuff, make some money, good for you. but make money that is not bad, decent money. Don't make money like the way you're currently doing. It shows. It shows everywhere. Your expensive watches, your lifestyles. Unfortunately, social media, you get caught on your holidays, expensive holidays. So I just think we need to all pause, think, rewind, and play. Uh, I think this message instigated a response from my end. This is my response. I don't know how each of you will respond, but yeah, this is my 2 bit on the subject. Uh, let's see. 24 is coming. We've got some 4-5 elections in the middle. Let's choose wisely. Let's choose people who do not loot us. And this is not about political parties. This is about a general system. Let's go look for good people and let's go vote for them so that our children will have a better future. Our children will have a better country to live in. Yeah. Thank you. See you soon. Bye.